Hey there, YouTube friends. Masked Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. And welcome back to another episode, the final episode of Summerdale. And since it's the final episode, I have my friend Redline with me. Hello there.
Hello.
And this is only, the third time we're attempting this video?
Yeah, third time's the charm, fourth time, fifth time, whatever
So
gets to stick.
First time, I forgot that you actually had to record the video. Because it's been so long since I've made any content. And then the second time, my power went out. So, hey, we'll get it done. So, Redline is here because the park is at least half his, and we are going to do a full tour today. We're going to walk the park, we're going to ride the rides, we're going to talk about the fun times we had. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We're going to run in. Because I can't be. It takes way too long. So, our entrance, it's fine. It's cute. Let's get to a ride. Let's go right in. Main gate eats. I kind of like the way this, for me, a different way to have like a food court right in the front as opposed to like gift shops and stuff. I don't know. It was always supposed to be this kind of weird mishmash park. So,
yeah, it's got the traditional park vibes to it.
Yeah, but your first little bit of influence was right here, flipping the chair ride around, making sure it opens the correct way.
Yes, I am OCD about things like that, so you gotta make sure the visual is good.
Yes. So, someone called me out at the way back, 3 years ago when this project started? 2 years ago. When, that's way too many, that is way too many strollers.
Oh, that is a lot. That's like a one for everybody in the park.
Yeah, well, you got to make sure you have enough,
That's true.
So, yeah. The first ride we come across, the first e-ticket item, we'll call it, is Purple People Eater, the park's historic wooden coaster named after the high school. The Summerdale Purple People Eaters, the PPEs. It has a different ring to it, PPEs, doesn't it?
Yes, it's got a double meaning now.
Yes, it certainly does. But yeah, you were a big help here too. You saw me struggling with this and you're like, hey, do you want some help with this coaster?
Yeah, the classic wooden coasters. That's kind of my dish.
Yeah, you got a bunch of them over by you, don't you?
I do,
Yeah. I've never been, the oldest one I've been on, I think, is Blue Streak. That's probably the oldest coaster I've ever been on. And
you can see the influence here a little bit.
Yeah, that's what this one is modeled after. The queue itself with the ugly chain link and the going under the brake run kind of a thing. Yeah, it was very much Blue Streak inspired. But, of course, ours is purple for the Purple People Eaters. So,
well, I know we had mentioned that a good bit of this was done right after the Bro Nation Cedar Point trip, yeah?
Yeah, a good part of the park. Episode 1 of the park dropped while we were in Cedar Point. Okay. And then, yeah, I got heavily inspired after that. So, yeah, a lot of what you're going to see was built right after our Cedar Point trip. It is kind of a little on the nose in places, isn't it?
A little bit.
That's all right. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, correct?
That's true.
So then I like this part here. Like, we just couldn't be arsed to make a covered staircase. Have fun sweating. That is one thing we definitely notice a lot in our Cedar Point trip. Some parts of the queue where it's just you get absolutely smashed by the sun.
Oh, yeah. Heaven forbid you went on a day that didn't have any clouds.
And there's all that lovely community-made stuff. It is all in the file for you when you are able to download it. And, yeah, the park loads super slow because of it, but it's totally worth it. Front or back?
Let's take a front row. Get the visuals there.
All right, we'll do a front row. Oh, that's right. This coaster, man, at one point, it's just a tangled mess. Well, we'll have to wait a little bit for the next train, I suppose. All right, let's ride Purple People Eater. Yeah, so that is your standard classic out and back wooden coaster. No frills, but I like how it interacts with all the other coasters in the park. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's. Would you say that one is kind of original to the park, or like is that the first major attraction?
Yeah, I think so. The main point of this park, it was based off of Riverside Amusement Park in Chicago, which existed, I think, until like the 70s or 80s. Maybe. But like, it was a historic park, like old coasters, and they all got ripped out and they're all gone now. And my thought was, what if you had a park like that survived to the modern day, but has pretty much trashed a lot of their history in order to maintain business? So that's why there's a lot of newer style rides. So
yeah. Well, the area that we're in is kind of like this would be where most of the old stuff has lived on.
Exactly. This is the one part of the park that has survived the wrecking ball. So the Summerdale Skyway was probably like I'd assume like 50s or 60s. It's got that kind of just vibe. I don't know when Skyways were big.
Yeah, I think they were kind of peppered in throughout the decades, but
yeah.
I love the logo, by the way. I think that's one of my favorite logos.
The Summerdale Skyway?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's simple,
just,
but like it's...
Yeah. It's TMTK for the Summerdale, and then the Skyway is a custom font, I think by Haplo or Haribo. You would think on the third try I would have looked it up. I also like how I just let's put all the color in this little area. But I think the main focal point of this area is probably your lovely, lovely carousel. This was your contribution as far as when I asked for buildings. You're like, what about a carousel in the park?
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling doing like a street building, but
right.
I'm always in for a good carousel. So.
I love this so much. It is so good. And it's in a finished project now.
Yes. Finally got one in.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool. You can see a hot rod in the back shooting up there. That's cool. The old with the new. And I also like how now with this old ballroom, this is basically just, I think there's an arcade at Cedar Point near the front.
Yeah,
this is just a rip-off of that, like verbatim. So what are you going to do? But it ties this whole little area together with your sun planter. So good. This is by far my favorite part of the park, theme-wise.
Yeah, and then you got your couple of shops here on the left. Your fudge at the end, that was from your Christmas project, wasn't it?
It's a reimagining of the Christmas one, because the Christmas one was really big. I had to really scale it down and get rid of a lot of details to make it theme park. But I thought it turned out pretty well. The nod to Kinderly's Fudge Shop.
I love the little strip of shops over there on the side.
Yeah, these are probably some of my favorite facades that I've ever done. They feel like one building that they just tried to look like a bunch of different ones. And that's hard for me to achieve, so... But, I mean, then we have this. It's lovely. This is an amazing cover that you did. I can't get over this. All those individual light bulbs. So good. Such classic. Much wow.
And a nice nod to Hydro for the whip sign. That is, I think now it is public for anyone to use, but awesome. That was originally a request from me for him to do that.
Laurel Gardens, right?
Yes, probably. This is probably one of my favorite ride covers that I've done that wasn't for a carousel. And for anyone who has seen the racer at Kennywood can probably see the inspiration.
I have yet to get there. I want to go to Kennywood. It sounds like a pretty cool place. One of your favorites, right?
It is. Yep. I like the collection of classic coasters there and other attractions from like the 1920s, and
it's
just
super
a neat
cool
place.
Yeah, someday I'll get out there. Now that I'm in the deep south, it's hard for me to get to all those awesome... I didn't realize how many great parks there are just right within a few hours of each other in the Midwest.
Oh yeah, I mean you get like Cedar Point, and Kings Island, and Hershey, and Kennywood. They're all kind of bunched up there. Yeah,
it's pretty intense. There's a lot. I got to get to Kings Island. Never been there either. But anyway, coming here into Sycamore Falls area. Love, love, love this. So good. You helped me out a lot. Obviously, you built the flume, but I walled this area off with a big wooden fence, and you're like, I don't think so.
No, this has to be open for, prime people watching.
Absolutely. And this is another great vista here. If we look, let me just, I love this, being able to see, perfect timing too. The flume ride and the invert Ferris wheel, this whole thing here on this long strip here with the skyway overhead. Yeah, there's lots of good vibes in this project.
Yeah, and for such a small park, the skyline is actually pretty solid. It's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think so too. That sign ended up, by the way, it was an advertisement for like half off tickets for the second day. And that ended up near the Skyway, actually near the front of the park. So it did get repurposed. Don't worry.
Nice.
So, but yeah, let's
the
head
one that
on.
was originally on the wooden fence before.
So let's head into Sycamore Falls here, and you can see I didn't do much with it, just some dark green plants because it would be pretty wet in here, and lots of shade. So dark green, kind of fern type plants, some chain link to keep people away. But other than that, pretty standard. Man, this ride is always packed.
Oh yeah, always a popular one, especially on a nice sunny day.
Yeah, I got the reshade going. I've done some tweaks. Hopefully everyone thinks it looks a little better than it did before. I tried to make it look pretty bright and sunny out.
It feels hot.
Yeah, that was the point. It's darn near lunchtime, perfect time to take a water ride, and apparently all these people have the same idea. I do want to talk about, I know we've already talked about it twice, so let's talk about it thrice, the amazing construction of these beams. Tell me what your inspiration was and all that for this, because I'm not sure we've mentioned this yet.
Yeah, so the inspiration for this station was, I believe, by what GCI did for a lot of their stations. I don't know if they still build them this way, or at least their brake run transfer track sheds. They have this interlocking beams that go up over top to kind of keep things open. And it has a fairly clean look, and it's functional, but also looks good. So it seemed like a good, perfect, standard wooden shed station.
I just love it. It makes so much sense. It's just that little bit of extra realism is so good. I love it. It's so good. It's much more. It's an easy. I don't know if it's easy to build, but it looks like an easy detail to add that just. It adds so much more than maybe what it costs to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not too difficult to do. I mean, it's all in-game planks and stuff, and once you do one, you just copy it over. So
that's true. Awesome. Well, let's ride along, Flume. So that was so. What we did is that we exit when you exit this ride. It's on the other main path, so we just kind of ran around so we could be back where we were, so we don't miss anything on this side because there's still some cool stuff to see over here. We'll show you the back of the exit to the flume when we get over there. And now here is the biggest change, I think. Well, aside from the flume, I think the flume and this are the biggest change that you made. People might remember, if you've been watching all the episodes, that there used to be a Wild Mouse coaster back here.
Yeah, and it fit pretty decent, but it was a little bit generic, and it was, there was definitely some space in there that was underutilized.
Exactly.
Because of the rectangular shape of it. So
yeah, it felt like for the amount of space that it took up, it was not providing the correct amount of thrill. So, yeah. But now this became this whole back corner of the park is the Surge area, and I love what you did with the souvenirs, attaching it onto the Spud shop, and just this whole modern. So this would have been opened maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, this would definitely be the newest and biggest investment that they had made.
For sure. Dual launching mock coaster is the idea here, correct?
Yeah, and I know when you had given me the park to do the flume, originally you wanted to put a launched coaster in that area.
Right.
And then I had suggested doing the flume. And I kind of got the idea that maybe we could squeeze both a flume and a launch coaster in.
Yeah, so super impressed that you were able to squeeze it in here at all, in addition to the flume. Like, this is exact. I was kind of going, I was thinking of channeling the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, how it's just like rides on top of rides, I think it is. And that's kind of the vibe I really wanted to do here, where there's just tracks over tracks over tracks. So let's take a look. The Surge queue is kind of depressing, not gonna lie.
Especially now that it is literally it is almost as full as it can get.
Yeah, it is. Look at this. It is stark though. There are no trees here.
Nope, just a couple of cheap shaved covers, and
it reminds me of Steel Vengeance.
Oh yeah, you're lucky if you get to stop in the spot that has shade.
Yeah, it's pretty blistering. I remember that. Love this. Like the $5. It's going to be at least $5 for your beverage in line. Yeah. All right, let's run through. We can do this. We're VIPs. Let's get up there. The station, though, for being white, it is such an interesting station. I really like how it turned out. You did an excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
Love it. So good. I know in one of the previous recordings we talked about how you were able to keep it interesting while with a very simple design structure and simple color scheme. It's really great.
Yeah, just some of those architectural touches, like the elevator and then the skylight up there. Just some things to break up the flat.
Mm-hmm. And it actually plays against the purple really well too. That's pretty cool how that. I don't know if that was intentional, but we can say it was.
No, yeah, we'll go with
sure.
Yes. So that was totally intentional.
Awesome. All right, well, here comes a new train. Let's ride Surge. I'm so excited. So yeah, we are kind of spending the whole day here. We're letting the sun set on the park so you can see it at night. But I just wanted to walk through the exit of Surge because I like it. I know it was a battle with the terrain and path editors, but I think it turned out into something really rather unique.
Yeah, I love that it tips underneath of that first little weird element.
Agree. And here's just another really, I don't know, there's just all kinds of fun little angles in this park where you're like, oh, that kind of looks nice. I'd take a picture of this area. I don't know, it looks interesting to me. Got the elevator over there for disabled guests. That's awesome. I love having, you gotta put that stuff in. Photo booth. So excited. So nice. And you get great views of the Purple People Eater too. And you could stand here and watch it launch. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it was fun to make this this plaza because I knew there had to be like a plaza area at least in that that part there with a sign.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure how I was going to run the exit path, and it seemed to work out pretty well.
It turned out super well. It is super neat how I say super a lot. It is very cool how it turned out into its own little sub area just because of this entrance plaza and the coaster wrapping around it. I think it's great. And
I know you had mentioned it feels a little bit like Cedar Fair.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah, it does. It does feel very Cedar Fair-ish with its, I don't know, goofy taglines and not quite as low as Six. Now, you've had a recent experience at Six Flags that wasn't so spectacular. Huh?
I did. I went to Six Flags America, and it was probably, not going to lie, probably one of the worst days I've had at a park. So.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard not great things about it. You got to go to Great America. I mean, it's in the name that it's going to be better than America.
It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to
be great. It's going to be great. So here's the other end of the Skyway. And we're at the back of the park now, all the way in the back, making our way to the left loop, or the other side of the loop, I guess. Here's when the in-game sign is perfect, you throw it down.
That's right. No need to reinvent the wheel.
Nope. And I love just the little green zigzaggy. That's a perfect little bit of theming. It's all you need for that little flat. And now we have Brobecue, which hits so much closer to home now than even when you built it back in the day, because now I actually own a smoker, and I'm getting pretty good at it, so I love this. And I know you didn't make the smoker, but you modified it, and you built this whole little shack.
I don't remember who made it, but I know that we included the name on the original episode.
Mm-hmm. So head on back.
I modified it to have like the hot or cold trays or whatever they are on the other side there.
Yeah. Super. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I recently smoked a pork butt. Oh man, we had some pulled pork. It was to die for. So good. But I love this.
Really living up the Texas lifestyle there.
I am. Yeehaw. And I am going to be putting Brobecue in all future projects in one capacity or another. It's perfect. Is this a custom wall?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Lots of planks at slightly different colors.
Oh,
I was going for that shiplap.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. And then here with the trees with just coasters all around, you can't really see them, or you can just see all of them. I think we tried. There was a way where we could get, all 4 of the major track rides in the park in one photo.
Wow.
That's crazy.
There's so much going on, and yet it still feels like cozy and shaded, and it's a cool area.
Complete and old with these full-grown trees, and it feels like it's been around a while. So this was the hardest area for me to theme because it was big. I was like, I don't know what to put here, so we'll just put some random, non-permanent stalls, I guess. Heading on to Fireball. I wish more people would ride this. As a whole bunch of people go in. Awesome. I was like, usually nobody rides this, but...
Well, maybe now that the park has been open a little bit longer than it was the first time we tried to record, maybe the line will be a little bit...
Perhaps. Yes, that is true. I did go and use the autosave from our last visit. So yeah, I did. Don't yell at me. Don't at me. I did reuse the sign from No Name Landia. Just changed the words a little bit. But this is another example of the queue interaction. I was really happy with how the. Never mind that there's no. Shh! Don't look. We're good. We're up at it. I was very happy with the queue interaction with this coaster, and how just the emptiness. Like you wouldn't have a lot of trees here because it's very close to the ground, or these really small trees. I see this a ton, like at theme parks. These trees. This is as tall as they grow because that's what they need to do. I really wanted to add that kind of stuff in to this one.
And they do absolutely nothing for shade, but they look good.
Nope. They look cute. They look pretty. Yeah, I'm impressed with how much I was able to pack in on this ride. Before we ride it, I'm aware that my Immelman turns the wrong way. I am not a coaster person. That's why Redline built Surge and helped with Purple People Eater, because that is not my jam. So again, don't at me. I know it's not great, but that's the way it's going to stay. I tried to fix it a bunch of times and it never worked. So I could never get it smooth again. So this station here is very simple, very straightforward. I was kind of channeling my Six Flags Great America X-Flight. It looks like an airline hangar. It's kind of what airplane hangar. That's kind of what I was going for here with the arches. And these are actually beta roof pieces. Like these have been around since the beta, these roof pieces.
Yeah, and I actually, I know I said last time we recorded, I actually really like this station. I feel like it is very appropriate for the coaster type and probably the time at which it would have been built. It just kind of has that, like, it feels a little bit cold and minimalistic, but at the same time, you know, the shape is kind of interesting and the structure is kind of interesting. It's just, it feels fitting.
There's just enough to be like, this isn't a box. Yeah, and I would assume this would have been built, because like the first one at Six Flags Great America debuted in '92, and then whenever Raptor was around, they started getting really big. So this would have been probably before Alpengeist and Raptor and all those really big ones came online. But anyway, we'd need to do front row of this one for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the only place you can ride an invert, for me at least.
I will wait in line to ride front car of an invert.
Yep.
Well, that was a twisty-turny ride. I wish that they had built that with an appropriate Immelman, bastards. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we are fully into dusky, nighttimey last bits of natural light now. And we're going to start to see another person's work coming to the front, and that is Gert, a member of Bro Nation and longtime Planet Coaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon player, who is big into lighting. He did all the lighting in the park, except for your areas. I was explicit to him to make sure that your areas stayed intact.
Yeah, I did attempt to do some lighting, or the most or all of the lighting in my areas, but
I definitely didn't.
We saw that Ferris wheel as we were starting to walk through this path, and it just really it comes alive at night. It looks great.
Let's head that way. Let's head towards the Ferris wheel then, because it does that. Like, it's so good. I had to ask myself, is that in game programming? And it's not. it's him. Right?
Yeah.
That's
looks
crazy.
incredible.
Yeah. Oh, there's an archer there. There's probably a few archers scattered around the park. But yeah, he did all of this lighting. And the way he lit up Hot Rod there is just incredible. So we're also now at the second entrance to the park. Summerdale is supposed to have 2 entrances. The main entrance, and then this is like the side entrance. Dumps you off here into another area for lockers and stuff like that, and restrooms. Not as many food options over here, though. But yeah, it's spectacular. It's really, really good. He's very good at his job.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more guests over here. But I guess there's not not actually a whole lot of rides on this path, I guess, other than the Ferris wheel.
Not here. You got you would have to up by the water ride, I'm sure, where all your other flats are located. Your Shirt Shack. Let's see this at night.
Is it nice
I'm
and
so glad we
impressive?
did this at nighttime. Oh my god. This is so good at being gross.
I got that like dingy
green. I feel like I'm in the
ceiling
Matrix. Good God. That's so cool. I love it, though. Yeah, definitely in need of a refurb. Next time Summerdale has some money, Shirt Shack's getting an overhaul. There's another in-game sign. Not that it's as good as the other one, but I just didn't want to make a custom sign for the Ferris wheel, so
It works.
Here is your Music Express. Love this as well. Are those lights in-game? That's in-game.
Yeah, the
spotlights.
the lights that move around like that, yeah.
That's fun. That's super fun. And I believe this Tucker Trinkets was one of the last. Yeah, this and Sadie's over here with the balloon vendor. This was one of the last buildings. These were the last buildings I built. We had talked earlier, last time we did this, about how eclectic and varied everything is back over here. And yet,
Yeah, because
on
on the one side, you've got like, 80s or 90s, I guess probably 90s kind of look, with the Music Express, and then the Dodgems, which looks totally retro, and then on the other side, you've got the Log Flume, which is, attempting to be that kind of Western.
Rustic-y.
Yeah.
And then back there, you've got just random theme, amusement park vibe. It is interesting, isn't it? And yet it all kind of works together. People talk so much about how like immersion and this and that, but at some point, unless you're Disney, the themes kind of clash, don't they? And that's part of the realism, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's just stuff to catch your eye everywhere.
Right.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Yeah. And now we're on the backside of your lovely carousel and your lovely ice cream stall that used to sell Falcones from the Summer Brodown back in the day.
famous ice cream treat.
Famous. Your lovely fountain as well that found a home here in front of Johnny Rockets. Johnny Rockets was built by Uwakins, another member of Bro Nation and longtime theme park simulator player. Super cool dude. He built me this a long time ago, and it took me forever to find a place, and I'm so glad I was able to find a place for it.
Yeah, it fits right along with your hot rod theme.
Yeah. Johnny Rockets came first. It was the inspiration for the rest of this area. And so, on this side of the park here, we have Hot Rod, our retro diner, 50s diner-inspired theme to go with Johnny Rockets. Cute little simple sign here. The car was built by Wings and Strings. He's an incredible artist and builder in Planet Coaster. If you've watched No Name Landia, you are familiar with his work as well. He did all the backstage and all the infrastructure of that park. So I think Hot Rod's the most popular ride in the park.
It certainly garners a lengthy line, which is interesting.
This is interesting too, because they just announced that Wicked Twister is no more. So
this is the only one left now.
It's the only one. Is it the only one left now? Ever?
I know Wicked Twister, I think, was the only one with a twist on both ends.
Yeah. Does this have a twist on both ends?
Yep.
Oh shoot, it does. I don't even remember.
Now it's a tribute ride.
That's right. And I keep when I clicked on it, because it wasn't named, it was just renamed Viper or something, whatever its in-game name was. And and I changed it. I looked. They're like, "Oh, the queue is beautiful," and I'm like,
Really?
It is?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Cool. I guess.
Oh, that's a cool view there in the up the spike. That's a.
Yeah. Well, again, channeling Cedar Point, Wicked Twister vibes. I remember you go back and under the spike and all that. And now over there, you can see my spoopy manor from my last summer project that didn't take 2 years to finish. That's
Oh,
from
is that what that's
Surfside.
from?
Yeah, Surfside Pleasure Pier. Yeah. So
Would that be like an attraction outside of the park?
Yeah,
to,
like
play
there's a
off of?
Ripley's. Someone made me a Ripley's or a knockoff of a Ripley's. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Over here, you have those other attractions, like those super tourist trap things that pop up. These are they're around the Alamo actually here in San Antonio. You go to see the Alamo and you got a Ripley's and a wax museum and all kinds of goofy stuff that you can pay a ridiculous amount of money to go visit. So yeah, Spoopy Manor would be one of them. And I just wanted stuff to fill up the street.
That looks good over there.
Thanks. Yeah, again, that's the only thing that's mine. Everything else over here are amazing creators. Mr. Domez back here. Oh, we gotta go check it. Is Maskies. It's so
It'll
good.
fill up with gas before we head home.
Yeah. Well, if people in Texas would know about Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is a huge gas and rest station, famous in Texas for their super clean restrooms. So do you want to go higher on the forward side or the backward side?
I think on the Impulse, I think you've got to ride the back seat on the right side. If I'm
Back
correct.
seat, right side.
Or
I usually
the
do
last car, the front of the last car on the right side.
front of the last car on the right side. Ah, right here. All right, cool.
There you go.
Well, I'll be on the right side then. I guess you can be on the left. Oh, no. Cool. Well, that was... I like those rides. I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people are kind of whatever on them, but like in real life, I enjoy them. Vertical Velocity, Great America, Wicked Twister. I think they're pretty good. I don't know.
They're
Maybe I'm in the
definitely
minority.
one of the better shuttle coasters, I think.
I think so. So I guess we're going to make our way to the front gate once again. Oh, we got to go around and look at... Well, we'll see it on this side. No, we got to go this way. We're going to go this way. We're going to run. So this was... once I picked it back up after a long hiatus. One of the reasons why there was a long hiatus in this project is I sat here with this chunk of stuff, not knowing what the heck to do. And I figured, well, wait a minute. We don't have any tributes to you. So I needed to go ahead, and you get two. You get two hot dog stands. You get the retro futuristic hot dog stand.
2.0. Nice.
Redline's is bigger and bolder over here. Look at how excited she is to serve hot dogs. Good God. And then over here, we have the original Redlines. I don't know. I was just a little way to say, hey, I appreciate you and everything you did to help get this park finished. This park would not be finished if it weren't for you, my man.
I'm very happy to collaborate and make it happen. It definitely turned into a very cool project.
Yeah, collaboration is what makes the Planet Coaster world go round.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything at this point. I really originally wanted to build like one park that was just mine, and I realized that if I did that, it would absolutely never get done. So
Right.
getting
Conifer
people to help
Slopes.
out.
Conifer Slopes
Yeah.
has been stuck at phase 1 for as long as Planet Coaster has been out. I love this. It's a box.
Oh yeah, that's a nice depressing little.
Yep. It's a box right at the front of the park. But there you go. That is the Summerdale Loop. So, Mr. Redline, are you currently planning your next episode of Laurel Gardens, or what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm working at my usual slow pace, but I think I've got at the time of this recording, I think I've got 4 episodes out.
Awesome.
Three episodes, maybe? I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, if you like Summerdale, and you especially like The Log Flume and Surge and all the stuff that he did, I highly recommend you check out Laurel Gardens. I'm actually in there for an episode. I did some work in Laurel Gardens.
Yeah, you were the inaugural episode 1, I think.
Oh, was I? Wow. I'm honored. Thanks for sticking around and watching this project develop over the last 2 years.
It has been quite a ride.
Yeah. And one more time, super big thanks to Redline and to all of you who contributed something to this project. It couldn't have been finished without you. So, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And I guess with all that, I guess it's time to say goodbye. So have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see all of you for something new sometime, eventually. All right, well, take care then. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you later.
Bye.